kicking this week, Simon?
Yeah, look, it's something we have worked on. We work on it every week. So it's something that probably hasn't been an issue for us throughout the year. I think we've been ranked #1 for most of the year. So the weekend wasn't the way we would like, but at the same time, it doesn't change how we train. We do it every week, and we try and implement the type of goals that we get in a game, which is generally in high density.
Does it affect who you bring into the side? Do you feel like you need some more accurate goal kickers?
No, not at all. No, we've functioned really well as a forward line for most of the year. So, we've been fairly efficient once in there. Clearly it's still an area that we want to get better at because we are getting a lot of supply in there. So really it's just something we'll continue to train. As I said, I think we're #1 for most of the year. I think the weekend drops us down to #3. So if that becomes a trend, then we'll address it in a more probably formal manner.
Can you give us an insight into how you try and maximise scoring once you go inside 50? What do you do at training to try and really maximise that? Not giving away too many secrets, obviously.
Yeah, obviously we've been certainly a high inside 50 team, and obviously with that you get a lot of re-entries, which means you're having inside 50s where there's a lot of density. So that makes it harder to score. So that's the natural thing in footy. So what we're trying to do is actually become more efficient in high density, which can take some time. So we want to keep that supply, we want to keep the high number of inside 50s, but yeah, we want to be more efficient and actually maximise our opportunities. But to be honest, I think the supply is the more important thing for us. We want to make sure that we're still dominating our forward half side of the game, and that's something that we really value.
Has Joel Smith pulled up from the hip complaint weekend?
Yeah, look, he's still got some hurdles to get through. He's in terms of his scan, he's all clear in terms of his hip. He's got a few little things going on, but he'll have to do a bit of training, later through the session today to really actually prove to us that he's ready to go. So we certainly won't take a risk with him at the moment. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out today.
Has Bernie Vince done enough to earn a recall?
Yeah, look, Bernie's done enough. I can't sit here and say that he's going to play, but he's certainly performed well at VFL level. He didn't play on the weekend, but if a spot comes available, he'll certainly be in the selection mix.
Popular wisdom outside your club seemed to, suggest that Bernie or Jordan would play in the lineup at that they're, given their leg speed. Is there anything to that, or can both those guys still perform a role?
So the question is, can both of them
play
on the same
Very poorly worded, but yeah.
Yeah, look, I think they certainly can. We certainly haven't come to the conclusion that it's only one of them in the team at once. Without question, we've had some success through the year when both of them have played together. So we're really confident that in the right form, they can both play on the same side.
Conditions were pretty tricky up north, but do you feel like you got back on track in a lot of the aspects that perhaps were a bit down the 3 weeks before?
Yeah, look, we certainly thought our game against Port Adelaide was really solid. Clearly we didn't get the result, and we thought on the weekend, certainly the areas that we've been working on, that ability to get back to help our defence was something that we really focused on, and we got back to playing the game that we wanted to play. We still think we've got huge growth over the next 7 weeks and huge improvements still in our footy team, and I think that's the exciting thing for our supporters and for us, is that we're in a position now that we can really launch and continue to get better and improve, and we think we're in a really solid position to do that.
You must be happy with Aaron Vandenberg's return by the VFL, 16 tackles in 3/4 of footy, long-awaited return. What do you make of that?
Oh, he was outstanding. To come back after 18 months out of footy, nearly 2 years really, and to come in and have 22 touches and 16 tackles in a difficult day down at Casey. It gives us great hope that he's going to progress and certainly have an impact for us this season. So there's certainly no pressure on him. We've still got to get some more game time into him, give him 3 or 4 weeks of really solid VFL footy, and then I'm sure he'll be putting his hand up for selection at that point.
How have you seen the doggies form? I know the first half was really good for them last week.
Yeah, look, we played them around 11, and I think they've significantly improved since then. They're certainly playing with a real ferocity around the footy. Even in the first half last week against the Hawks, I thought they were really solid. Clearly they had a poor quarter. We've seen some real improvement in their side. We think they're playing a better brand of footy, and they're going to be a real challenge this week.
The Dogs have just ruled out Marcus Bontempelli because he had his appendix out. How does that change your planning, given that he can play midfield and also deep forward as well?
Obviously only found out 4 minutes ago, so opportunity to plan, but they get some players back as well. McRae comes back into their side, so they've performed strongly without a lot of their best players for the majority of the year, and they've seen some real improvement in the younger players. So it's obviously they'd love Marcus to be playing, but at the same time, we're certainly not preparing for them to be any different in terms of how they line up.
Is there a sense that you're really sort of starting the final straight, I guess, to that push towards the finals? That push towards the finals with 7 weeks to go?
Yeah, look, as I said, I think we've got huge growth and improvement in our team with 7 weeks to go, and I think we're in a position now that we aim to win every game that we go out and play. Now, where that takes us, we'll have to wait and see, but we want to continue to improve as a side, and I've said this to the players, and I'll keep saying to it, the team that continues to improve from right now to the end of the year will be the team that really comes into that stage of the season and with the best shot at winning it. So our responsibility now is to keep improving. We're in this same spot last year. 9 and 6. Now it's a chance for us to really progress forward as a footy club and improve and actually really start to take our game to a new level.
You gave some guys, obviously, Stretch, Garlett and Frost sort of coming back in after long stints in the VFL. Were you pleased with how they acquitted themselves, and do you feel as though those guys are going to be part of your squad sort of heading, if you do make finals?
Yeah, look, I can only comment on, I think the VFL program that we've put together is a great program that Jade Rawlings has done, and what it's enabled us to do is get people to really grow their games, and we saw all those guys come back into the AFL team last week, improved on the way before they left the team. I think that's a great sign for our VFL program to be able to do that. So all those guys contributed strongly in the areas that we wanted to last week, and that's only going to make our club better.
You say you're in the same position, 9 and 6. Is there one thing that you can pinpoint that you will be doing differently this time round?
Oh, without question, I think we identified it last week. We're very strong in the contest. Offensively, we're number one. We need to continue to grow and improve our defence consistently to be the team that we want to become. So that's where we see our real improvement and growth. Really refining our defensive actions within our team and making us the hardest team to play against. So it's an important period for us to get right and to continue to improve, and that's what we're looking to do.
Determined to lock away that final spot before round 23 last year. Obviously didn't work that way. You got GWS this time around.
As I said, we're aiming to win 7 games. So we can't look too much further than this week. I'm not even going to worry about talking about finals or talking about round 23 where we're so far away from that it's not funny.
We're hopeful of getting Jaden Hunt sort of back running in the next month or so, and then hopefully he can play part in your late season charge.
Yeah, Hunt is progressing well. So he's running better. We were a bit slower with his rehab early, but he's starting to progress quite quickly now. So he's still 2 to 3 weeks away from actually getting back to playing. But it's going to be great to have him available because he can certainly have a big impact for us.